Well, good evening, everyone. It's so good to see all of you once more. And we are indeed back. I know it's been so long.
And hard.
Have you missed us? I know I've missed you.
I've missed this too.
Indeed. We've missed all of us.
Yeah.
And, so screw YouTube for their stupid community strikes. But anyway, we are back. I am Kat, the night editor, and with me, sitting next to me here is.
J.Ishiro Finney, author and alien in a human suit.
And with us once again is the lovely as always, Janelle.
Yep, mom and pop culture ranter.
Yeah, you are awesome with the pop culture. I envy you.
Oh, yeah, I get on. I don't know. It's something obsessive. I just can't let it die. I need to let it die, but I can't. It's killing me. It kills
Hey.
me. You know why? Because I know that there's so many people out there that have talent that can fix this, and it'll never happen. It's like I'm having fan fiction in my head. It's sad.
So, if you're wondering why everyone keeps tweeting about Jackass, this is the graphic I made for tonight's show. And I felt there is no better representation for Gen X than Jackass.
There really isn't.
I think it pretty well says it all.
I mean, there's so many facets of what Gen X is, but really, when you come down to it, Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch of guys who otherwise would be complete losers who had a dream of hurting themselves for money and
for fun and profit, yes.
Yep.
It was
And-
seriously a bunch of drunken, stoned skateboarders who decided to injure their bodies for cash.
And I think the other thing is we all knew these people.
Yes.
We
Yes.
all had people in our lives just like this.
Mhm.
And you might have even done some of these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I never did it, but I watched the idiots do it.
Yeah, I'll admit, even though I hung out with a bunch of guys, I had to be the logical person in the room, and when they'd be, sending themselves down hills and in shopping carts, I abstained.
You had friends that did that too.
Yep. And they do that, and then I saw Jackass for the first time. So they were doing it, before Jackass made it cool. So.
Okay, wait. So did you ever do the thing? Oh, wait, no, you told me you didn't do this kind of thing, like in the supermarket where you both would get somebody in a basket and you'd race around the supermarket crashing into each other.
Nope.
Yes.
Didn't do that.
Yes, I did. I was the driver.
And you do the supermarket bumper cars with the baskets, and everyone's just kind of looking at you like, "What the hell are these people doing?"
Yes.
I did. I probably would have done it if I could have been the driver, like you, Janelle. But there were other people who were insisting on being the driver, and I wasn't going to fight. So I observed and applauded. So
That's why I was the driver. Because I saw there was no way in hell I was getting in that basket.
nope.
So why do we have the wonderful Jackass crew next to these two dorks? Well, again, we all know, who Buzzfeed is, and I don't think they need any introduction. And once again, I felt there was no better representation of who Gen X really is other than Jackass. And did you know in 2019, Buzzfeed tried to start a feud between millennials and Gen X? No, I didn't either. That shows you how well it went. Now, Kat says she does remember this.
I do remember it because it popped up in my feed back then, and I just kind of went, "Oh, that's stupid," and just went on. It's like, okay, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, for tonight's topic, I was looking for things because we're not going to talk about nuclear war and other stupid shit.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, I thought, we could do Gen X nuke stories, but, You know what? Nah, screw that. I've talked enough about that.
I was gonna say, haven't we talked about like growing up in the 80s and having all the nuclear war post-apocalyptic movies and we wanted to live in because they look so cool. I wanted those plasma rifles in the Terminator. Oh my God.
I think we all did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was cool. I mean, it was scary as fuck, but oh my God, I wanted those guns.
Well, I don't know if you don't listen to all the shows because you actually are a busy mother, but I've done a couple shows on what's going on right now, and I did it because I was sick to death of arguing and trying to explain to younger people that even a small nuclear exchange would be utterly horrifying, because a lot of them seem to have this idea that it was going to be like Fallout, or like, okay, bomb is boom, nuke is just bigger boom. No, it isn't.
No, I mean, did you tell them to look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki's aftermath and then add like times 100 to that? Because that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
we went through it all, but we're not going to do that tonight.
okay, you know what? We've been totally focused on it because Steve's family came from Germany to Ukraine and then fled when the Soviet Revolution happened. That's how they ended up in the US. So it's not that far back for generations. So we've been really watching like what's going on. It's bothering the family.
I don't blame you.
Geez.
Well,
So yes, let's please talk about
yeah, let's
dumbass
not do that
millennials.
topic because that's something else.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found one of these posts. Okay, so who are these two losers in the corner? I don't know. The woman is like the co-editor of
The dude in the foreground, I'm looking at him and I'm laughing because he looks like a Matt Groening drawing come to life.
oh, the guy with his
Yeah.
soylent grin there.
Yeah.
Is that Matt Groening?
No, this is the guy who's, I forget his name, the guy that created BuzzFeed, this vulture-nosed motherfucker here.
I want to say something about him, but I'm afraid I'm going to get the channel struck, so I'll keep my mouth shut. But I have lovely words.
This guy, and yeah, he cannot seem to actually smile normally, and like every pose he's in, he's always got his hands like that. And
he looks like he's got a carrot up his butt, and that's why he's like grimacing because he's got something up his bottom. Oh my goodness, no.
No,
yeah.
he can't smile normal. He's not human, is he?
I don't think so.
He's an android like Zuckerberg, right?
I don't know what he is, honestly. I think he's carved from wood, is what it is. But yeah. Oh, it's Jonah. I forget Jonah. That's his name. This guy is the guy that's been trying to essentially profiting off our misery with BuzzFeed. This is the guy that came up with all the damn lists and all the feuds and yeah. Anyway, so I picked one of their articles that was trying to start a feud between Gen X and Millennials. And it's called 15 Toxic Gen X Trends That Should Have Ended. And then there's the subheading, like, Gen Xers are worse than boomers now.
Oh God, did they really think like? Did they really think? Because all I want to do is just slap him across the face and laugh. Like, you're so fucking dumb. We don't care.
You know, as we all know, yeah, exactly. We don't care. It was like whatever.
Yeah, you like whatever, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, you think it's toxic? Well, too bad. I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then, as always, because BuzzFeed actually can't write anything really, it's all comprised of tweets.
Oh, God.
So the first one is Gen X creates a toxic work environment. Now, Kat, I want you to do your idiot voice, your idiot Valley Girl voice, okay?
Okay, I haven't read. He wouldn't show these to me, so I'm going in cold and rough on this.
This is from somebody.
I cannot wait.
This is somebody called Tempura Apples.
Oh my God.
Well, like, think about it. I mean, like, apples are yummy and like tempura is yummy. And so like you combine the two and it's like an apple pie.
Oh God. Don't know. I'm feeling sick to my stomach.
Sorry, that just came off the
Do
top
you,
of my
do you
head.
think this would all go better with we each had a shot of sake, or
It's up to you. I'm not making that decision.
okay? Well, let's get going. We'll see how.
If you decide yes, I will not say no. But
Okay, yeah, just give me like a minute to go grab my bottle of Irish whiskey.
Oh fuck.
You know what? We'll do a drunk cast next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about that? We'll do a
That
drunk
sounds
cast
good.
next week.
We'll have to do it on the weekend though. It's a school night.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think we should. We'll do it on the weekend. Okay.
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 So this is Gen X creating a toxic work environment, and this is a tweet from Tempura Apples.
Well, it's not that no one wants to work. It's that millennials and Zoomers refuse to be both underpaid and work in a toxic environment. Gen X can't grasp this because they themselves be like walked over for the last 30 years as they worked.
Jesus fuck, no, we just don't care. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. Are you that stupid? You work your way up. Oh my god. Do they wear diapers too and need to have their back burped? Like, oh,
I
poor
think
baby.
so.
Does your milkshake in your tummy giving you an upset tummy? Oh, poor baby. Blech. Jesus fuck.
You know, the thing is I've seen some. I made the mistake of, for fun, diving down the TikTok rabbit hole, not unsupervised. I let other people vet the videos for me, and then I'd watch their YouTube videos on it. But my God, yes, they yes, you are absolutely correct. They do need to have their backsides burped because they drink their McDonald's milkshake. And I'm kind of referencing videos where that is part of the video.
My kid gets it more than these. Oh, okay. Just
Your
keep
kid
going.
is your
I'm gonna
kid.
be like this all night. I might actually have to go get the bottle just to get through it.
No. You got tequilas, because then you can be salty.
Okay. Well, you guys heard my reaction.
Okay, so well, here are the few responses. Here's a response from somebody called Witch in the Yellow House. As a Gen Xer, I can say there's some truth to that, but there's also an element missing in that we were the generation pretty much. We were this. There's also an element that is being missed, that this generation was pretty much struck by stuck. You read it, shit.
As a Gen Xer, I can say there's truth to that, but there's also an element to that that's being missed, that this generation was pretty much stuck raising themselves, and that meant survival. That means weathering our sixth recession. We're stronger than you take us.
Exactly. Oh my god.
And then the second one from somebody called No Pow Sack. Gen X can't grasp it because we didn't have an internet economy either. It's like we invented the internet economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, that was the first one. Let's do number 2. Believing all kinds of work hours should be the norm is another complaint about Gen X. Apparently, we think working at any time, all kinds of work hours are fine.
Yeah, it makes it better because people who are actual night owls do better at night. How do I know this? My husband was a night owl for the longest time. So when he was the manager of a movie theater, he always did the night shift, came home at 2:00 in the morning. He was fine.
Damn straight. That's what I used to do. I used to work the night shift.
Yeah, so I don't. Oh my god, these people are so fucking coddled. Oh,
So here's the tweet they used for this one from Neoliberal Dad. Gen Xers are worse than boomers now, I think. Boomer boss. Sure, I'll provide a reference. Glad you know that this wasn't personal when I threw the chair. Just how it goes sometimes. Anyway, this has been fun. This has been fun staying in touch. Call me if you need anything ever. Gen X. I have reported your toxic behavior if you're not working weekends to HR.
Huh?
I don't know.
That is so nonsensical.
And then everybody clapped.
Do you know that monologue in Happy Gilmore? No, Billy Madison, where they talk about you feel stupider for hearing? That's what I feel like right now.
Wow.
Oh man.
Okay, so the replies to this, there's Susie, the owl Susie, and she's a Gen Xer.
And she says, don't take it personally, but they've been walked over and screwed by the boomer boss since about 1986.
Then there's Kathy Creno.
Says, good one from a retired boomer boss. I know I'm missed. And Bleat Speak.
Yeah, Bleat Speak.
Says, all of the toxic shit boomers have forced me through has taught me what not to do as a leader. The staff I direct are cared for, well paid, and love their work, and are required to take their PTO. Flips hair.
You know what? I got nothing. I just don't care enough to really.
Yeah.
Do you have
Okay.
anything? You managed people.
Yeah, I managed a video game store, and you know what? I was the only female in there, and it was so much fun.
Okay.
I'm trying to think how these people would have handled my husband as their boss, because my husband was known for going up to people at the theater if they were talking and not doing their job, saying, if there's time to lean, there's time to clean. Could you imagine a millennial having that said to them? They'd probably burst into tears and like run home and scream to mom.
No, they then complain that you were harassing them and try to get you written up.
Let's be fair. We're kind of talking about the millennials who care about Buzzfeed. Not
That
all
is true.
millennials. We're talking about the millennials who give a fuck what BuzzFeed thinks.
That is true. These are
So-
probably the same people who are on Twitter like 20 out of the 24 hours of the day.
Oh, that comes up later.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so the third one they complain is always complaining about being left out. Huh?
And we don't care.
No, they're claiming that that Gen X complains about being left out.
That's what I mean. It's like, no, we don't care.
I was going to say, that's some fucking projection.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
some serious projection.
It's like, where do you get that from?
And then there is a tweet to illustrate this, and this is from a millennial. Logan Bonner. I know Gen X are feeling left out by not getting made fun of by us younger generations. So here's one. Ooh, I'm a Gen Xer. I love REM. Out of Time would be a perfect album if it weren't for shiny, happy people.
It's like, what? I know of nobody from our generation who would say or think that.
Yeah. Like, wow, REM. Woohoo. Great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Losing
that's
my
so
religion.
edgy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Green was a good album, and then and then that was it. They started sucking.
Yeah.
Then they took themselves seriously.
Yeah.
Wasn't that after the Video Music Awards where Michael Stipe wore like 20 shirts with a political statement on all of them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's when I was like, I'm checking out. We're done.
Okay, you're done.
You know, you were a great indie band, and then you suddenly thought we cared what you thought.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, apparently a little gold statue, means that you can be pretentious.
Yeah, I never actually understood the REM craze.
Neither did I.
When my parents started listening to them, I knew that it was over.
Okay, you're not the only one. My parents bought that album too. The Losing My Religion album.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
was really weird because then my mom also like got into Iggy Pop too, and I was like, "You're ruining shit for me. Please stop."
okay, so here's one of the replies. And this one's kind of funny.
Okay, the person who wrote this is T Vampire, TEA Vampire. And then that calls to mind the joke of putting the tampon in the teacup. So
I knew you were gonna say that.
yeah.
I love that joke.
You dissing shiny happy people? That video alone was a maze. I'm a millennial. I don't know I don't know that I get to have an opinion on this. Ha!
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What just happened?
There was a millennial pissed that he was dissing on shiny happy people.
Yeah, that's what. And the thing is, what it is these replies aren't included in the article. I went and checked.
This is
Wow.
gold. I love it.
You notice no Gen X are actually commenting.
Because we don't fucking care. We want to mock you.
And then, okay, number 4. Another complaint about Gen X apparently is number 4, like being left out is a personality trait.
And that really is entitled like, comma, being left out as a personality trait.
And
Wow. Did they take their cues from Clueless and think that's
Yeah.
how we all talk?
As F.
Well, actually, I do talk like that. I actually have the Valley Girl accent. I'll admit it.
yeah, but you don't sound like a moron. So, you know.
No.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, so the comment they use, the tweet they're using to illustrate this, comes from someone named Lux. The Holocaust is not a metaphor. How do you say it?
Elptrom.
Elptrom.
That is their name.
That is their Twitter name.
That is what they go by.
Wow.
And it's
Okay, read this like the dingbat voice.
Sorry. Okay, look, Gen X complains a lot about being erased and ignored, but I feel like maybe you guys don't really want the level of scrutiny other generations get.
Oh my God. I can't. Oh, I
Little
can't.
girl,
Oh
if
my
you even know
goodness,
the
this
shit
is-
they tried to dump on us that we had to ignore.
I know. Like this is great. They are so pissed that we don't care.
Mhm.
That they have to bitch and then like, oh, it's just because you guys are upset that you've been forgotten and it's a personality trait. It's like, no, we walked away. We don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
We founded Galt's Gulch. We're on the moon.
I
We're
wish we
gone.
were on the moon. Although the response even further illustrates why these kids don't get it.
This is a response to that last comment
From Lacey Anderson. Now do again the idiot voice.
True, there was an entire genre of 90s movies about how Gen Xers refuse to grow up.
And he read that one to me earlier, and my brain short-circuited, and I'm like, what genre? What movie? Where?
And
Where is this?
The thing is, the lack of connection here that she said, oh, they're upset that we didn't get the kind of scrutiny they do. And then as example, they bring up an entire genre of Hollywood movies made out that we're a bunch of losers.
The only one I can think of is Reality Bites, and it wasn't that they didn't want to grow up. They realized, holy shit, like when you grow up, it's hard. Like
Yeah.
going from college to like the working force, that shit's hard. Pretentious movie though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
To
I
be
ever
honest,
saw it.
To be honest, I never saw it.
Mhm.
My parents did though.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like, do you remember when every magazine had some article trying to explain to boomers about what their kids were, and they were all wrong?
Yes.
Every single one of them was wrong.
No, now we have articles trying to explain to millennials and Zoomers movies from our generation.
That is true. Well, that's actually
That's
kind of a
sad.
genre. Actually, another thing I like, I like the reaction videos
Oh, of movies?
where you get, well, it was millennials and now it's Zoomers getting exposed to media prior to from 2000.
And how that one scene in Alien always gets everybody.
Well, yeah, that too. But often there's just this look of like, what the hell am I looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever hear about they re-released Blazing Saddles uncut at a small movie festival in New York, and I guess the Zoomers were coming out of the festival saying, "Oh my God, that movie was so great. They would never make anything like that today."
See, there's hope. There's hope for the future if that was said.
Yes.
Yeah,
That makes me
they're like,
happy.
"We've been robbed." And yes, you have.
Like, indeed.
Yes, now go back and watch all the other stuff you haven't been seeing, or that the Hollywood system tried to make disappear.
Harble says that I feel the Daria vibes overtaking me. It is a good pain.
Actually, I think Daria was the show that really captured our attitudes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was the brilliance between both Beavis and Butthead and Daria, and this is, I think, one of the reasons it just shows why no one really, none of this stuff has any impact on us. We were making fun of ourselves already.
Yes.
I mean, those two shows were primarily making fun of our own flaws already.
Beavis and Butthead, literally, you knew people that did stupid shit, like put cactuses down their pants.
I'm gonna be honest. That's pretty much every 13-year-old boy's life, if they had lived it all.
Yeah.
Was Beavis and Butthead. You went through that phase between age 9 to 13 where that was your life.
Or you were trying your damnedest to kill yourself in some way.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, and just doing really stupid stuff and laughing about it. Lighting your farts on fire,
Mhm.
holding the firecracker in your hand as it goes off. Consuming things you really shouldn't.
Wow.
Or consuming too much of something and then watching the projectile vomit happen. Like
Yeah.
chugging
Yes.
a 2 liter of orange soda and then just watching the neon orange spray come out.
Oh, I was
Or-
thinking more along the lines of taking all the dots in the Tic Tac or huffing whipped cream.
I was going to say I did a lot of nitrous shots. And I laughed because I sounded like Minnie Mouse.
And, frankly, okay, let's be honest. Playing bumper cars in the supermarket with your friend inside the basket was very Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, very much so.
As was hanging your ass out the window every time you drove past the guy in the Ninja Turtle outfit advertising opened homes.
I don't know if you guys ever did this, but I didn't participate, but I had several friends who would go to certain parts of East County and go tweaker cleansing, and they would fill up a bucket full of water balloons and go and find the tweakers and just lob them at them.
That's great.
Holy crap.
They called it tweaker cleansing because they were hitting them with water and giving them a bath.
Oh my god! No, we
Okay,
didn't,
okay,
we
for
didn't
the
do
audience.
that, but we did raid a friend's sister's bedroom because she was a tweaker and she discovered Febreze, and she came to the conclusion that
Who was this?
this is Andrew's sister.
Wait, she was a tweaker?
Yeah.
She was taking speed?
Yeah.
Wow, she cleaned herself up. That's
yeah,
good.
she did. I'm very impressed with her. But she was doing all sorts of really awful stuff. She was also really into gangster rap, and not the good kind. So you have this whiter than white girl from Scripps Ranch, screaming down the road in her PT Cruiser, blasting "Dance My." Like, no, God. But
I just remember the time we came over and she had hung on her wall this gigantic sign that went from wall to wall that said posers suck.
Yeah. It's like, oh God.
That's some tweaker logic.
But there was a weekend where she was visiting her mom, and Andrew stayed behind because it was his weekend to stay with Dad. And we raided her bedroom, and we're like going through stuff and just trying to figure out, was there any piece of anything that had actually been washed, because everything reeked of fucking Febreze. We didn't find anything.
Did you see the Liam Gray thing?
Yeah, we're going to get to that later.
What's going on with Liam?
Liam has struck John's Indiegogo again.
Fucking asshole.
Why?
Because he's a piece of shit.
God. Well, no, it was a rhetorical why. I'm sorry. Like,
We're gonna need to talk about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I admit when I first heard of John De La Rose, this is like way back, and he was shit posting, and I didn't understand he was shit posting. Like, he's the meanest person on the planet. And then I heard a couple of streams he was on. I was like, oh, he's like the most fantastic shit poster I've ever come across. Like, why would you bother the man? Because he's better than you? Ugh.
I got to admit, there was a period in which I very much, and if he hears this, I'm perfectly fine. I did distance myself from him because he was stirring a lot of shit. And at this point, it's like, I don't want any of this in my life.
At the time, yeah.
I know that's when I was like, whoa, dude.
But yeah, no, he's good at it. He's very, very good at it.
He has it down to a fine science now.
I know,
Yes.
it's impressive. I wish I had that skill because I would love to make people on Twitter cry.
I think I would actually sell more books if I had that talent.
We've got to have him on again now that I have my voice back and my computer isn't shit. I felt so bad. I had questions for him and I didn't even talk.
Okay, I'll invite him on next week. You want to do that?
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so back to the show. Number 5, trying to distinguish themselves from boomers is one of our negative qualities, apparently.
Did we even try?
I think the fact is that we failed so badly at pleasing our parents that
well, you have to actually have, a bar in order to fail at it. And for some of us, I would say our parents really weren't interested.
So yeah,
we were an afterthought.
Yeah, we were the one that ruined the party. So anyway, the tweet they chose to illustrate this is from Ted Lasso Stan, who writes, Gen X urged to say, I'm not a boomer. And
Okay.
Okay.
It's like, that's it?
Well, I'm okay. I am unimpressed.
So real quick on BuzzFeed, this was just a list that they just posted, and then these comments are things that people posted elsewhere.
Oh yeah, these are all things they found on Twitter, compiled them all together, and made them a list about why Gen X sucks.
Okay, so they created the headings, and then these were the comments that they grabbed from Twitter
to illustrate their point.
These are awful.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to share
it. This is a heavy duty fail.
Okay, so the next one, number 6, being offended by being called a boomer.
Solar Scourge, if you ever want to offend a Gen X person, call them a boomer.
And then a Gen Xer responds, this is someone named Lisa Q. I think anyone should or would probably be offended by being called a boomer. You read this one, Kat, from Ashley, and I'm not going to read that string of numbers.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same for millennials being called Gen Z. It's like, I don't know about that.
No,
I don't think so.
I wouldn't say that either.
Lynn Talmon LMFT, because that was our parents, you moron.
Now, these aren't included in the article. I wouldn't track these down.
Oh my goodness. How do you think these millennials that said this were feeling when the Gen Xers just called them out on their absolute bullshit? I wonder if they cried.
Real quick, Star Storyteller. I'm a millennial, but I call myself a boomer because I'm not as tech savvy. Okay.
No, you're not part of the love generation.
No. Let's see.
And by the way, I think the whole boomer thing, I think the conservative side doesn't really claim it. It's kind of a badge of honor among the liberals.
Yeah.
I don't think the conservative side really gives a shit.
Crypto Comics. I never would have guessed that Gen Xers would be the most base generation come middle age, but they did it. They actually did it. I attribute it to anti-establishment music and movies in their youth.
Pretty much.
Yeah, really what it came down to is we really, really, really don't like authority, and we had to kind of do everything ourselves. And I don't know why we developed this. We really had this attitude of if you were told not to do something, you're like, oh, fuck you, I'll do it anyway.
Oh my God, that's why I watched the movie Blue Velvet. My dad told me not to watch it, and 10 years later, I rented the fucking movie.
Don't tell me
I
what to
told
do.
that story. I know I told you guys that story. Went to
Oh,
Girl
yeah.
Scout camp. He said, don't ever watch that movie. I shit you not. It sat like a seed in my brain for 10 fucking years. And I went and rented it.
And the thing about the fuck you, I'll do it anyway. Half the time you found out you were being lied to, and half the time you were like, well, now I know why not to do that.
My parents told me not to do drugs because it would ruin my brain. So what did I do when I went to SDSU? I took a lot of acid and mushrooms. They told me not to do it, so I went and fucking did it. They told me not to go to TJ because it was a bad place, so I was at TJ for like every other weekend for a year.
Well, from just my memory, it was lots of don't do this, but with no real explanations as to why. And then a lot of our parents' generation doing these things that they would tell us not to do. So
Exactly.
no good reason, and do as I say, not as I do. And just after a while, it's like, fuck that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, my dad told me Coke was awful to never do Coke, so I did Coke, and then I found out from his friends later on it was because my dad got coked out one night and kept listening to Jackson Brown's Running on Empty for like 6 hours straight.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Wow.
In fact, his friend told him he was going to fucking kill him if he put it on one more time.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, you did drugs. That's why you said no. Got it.
Don't hide that.
Like, if you
Wow.
tell me you look like an idiot on it, then I won't do it. But you didn't say that.
No.
Yeah. So then there's one more comment, another from a Gen Xer, and a guy's goes by the name Head for Details.
No, please stop calling Gen X boomers. I'm fucking 45 and I'm paying student loans, raising young kids, caring for my parents, can never retire, and my music is better.
Not wrong.
No.
Number 7, and apparently causing more damage than boomers. Apparently, we've done more damage than boomers. So
I don't see how.
I was going to say how. We didn't get a chance.
You got to get the idiot voice going here. This is from 9 of Bells.
I hate Gen X more than boomers. Boomers were handed unprecedented wealth and prosperity on a platter, and we expected them to do what was right and prudent, and they failed. But Gen X took everything their parents hadn't already wrecked by accident and finished the job with purpose.
Boo fucking who?
Says who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Like, oh my God.
Last I checked-
I'm sorry, millennials are coddled. They're so fucking coddled.
Also, I would like to point out that the chick who wrote that post says, we expected them to do what was right and prudent. Little girl, you didn't expect anything because you weren't around yet.
Yes. You weren't born.
No, it was their parents who were expecting them to do what was right and prudent. Okay, another one. Being a passive-aggressive online is another problem with Generation X, apparently.
Well,
that is all kinds of projection.
Like, look, if you can't take it, then shut up.
And in response, Alex McCulloch, him responds, or no, this is the tweet illustrating this.
Yeah. The Gen X urge to start posting all my grievances on Facebook and saying shit like, let's just say you know who you are. Like, okay.
Crickets,
okay.
I don't care. I got nothing.
Look, I left Facebook simply because too many of people, yes, in my age group were writing essays about how much their life sucked. And it's like, you know what? after you writing the 5th essay in the same day about the exact same garbage, I don't care anymore. And I left.
And who the hell's using Facebook right now?
You'd be surprised.
Really?
I
Yeah.
know boomers and millennials are.
I think Tom should have never left us.
Yeah.
I think that's where
I
everything went
miss
wrong.
Tom.
We missed Tom.
He didn't leave us. We left him.
Yeah, and we were wrong for it.
We left him for an android.
Tom would have never pulled any of this Mark Zuckerberg shit.
Pat yourself on the back if you know who Tom is. Actually, that just makes me remember of a Team 4-Star.
Yeah.
With
I still got you, Tom. You're still my friend.
Piccolo.
Underworld Dream says Gen X ruined the world because they didn't beat their kids or wear condoms so that they'd have. Well, that might be true. Although keep in mind, only half of the millennials are us. Keep in mind, a lot of those were second chance babies by our parents.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird mix.
There's an awful lot of second chance babies.
Okay, so the next one is being triggered by everything. Number 9 is another problem with Gen X, apparently.
And the comment here is by Sammy Boyman. Yes, Boii. Boy.
Oh my God.
Gen X is the easiest generation to trigger because all they do is browse Facebook and Twitter.
What?
That is some massive projection right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, who do you know?
Excuse me?
Who is it that you are, that you know who is doing that? I mean, yes.
The only person I know that spends that much time on Twitter and Facebook is my dad.
Mm-hmm. Not millennial.
And do you remember when I even sat down with him and said, look, you really need to get away from Facebook, especially. It's kind of affecting you in bad ways.
Well, you had to explain to him in very plain terms, this is not reality.
And I even told him about the fact that it's manipulating him to get him angry. And he goes, well, I know that.
Do you? Do you know that? I know you sent him that article that talked about how the algorithms purposely put anything with a negative title on it in front of you.
Oh, when did that come out? Was that 2015?
Something like that, yeah.
I canceled my account that day.
Mm-hmm.
Just wiped it. So, okay. So, yeah, we're apparently triggered by everything. Number 10, they achieved nothing. And again, we get a comment from Sammy Boyman.
I don't like Gen X. They literally achieved nothing and just sort of vibed. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay,
So
now
we
this one-
achieved nothing.
No, that's not true. But two. So what?
So back that up.
Yeah, back it up.
Please tell me what we didn't achieve.
I would have to argue that, frankly, it was primarily Gen Xers that created the entire geek culture they destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
It
was
all
Gen
those
X
cons, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the great thing is, and I love this. I'm posting this picture here because this guy in the center from the band All That Remains, I don't really know anything about them, responds with one line: "We don't care."
I was like, okay, don't know what your music's like, but you suddenly have respect.
We don't care. And you look at the guy too. It's like, so yeah, it's kind of a comparison.
Weren't
versus-
Gen Xers responsible for the greatest movement in music because of the 80s?
That's 50-50 because, the fact is a lot of those, post boomers were involved in that too.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
thinking like The Cure and Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
They're Gen Xers. You can tell by their music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Duran Duran are also Gen Xers.
You know, you can give credit to the boomers. They did make really great fucking music. I will give them that. But I'd still take I'd still take the 80s any day.
Yeah, I will die on the hill of saying that the 80s was the greatest decade that ever existed.
I would say it was a cultural high point for our civilization. Yes,
I agree.
Oh yeah, that's why I
you
say
just
that.
You just have to look at the top 10 music for every week, as well as movie releases from like between I think 80 or even 79 to about 88, and it's just like every week there was something good, if not 2 or 3 good films coming out.
And things that have become staples of our culture, quite frankly.
I mean, I was looking back, it's like, holy crap, no wonder we were constantly in the theater. Everything was excellent. I'm trying to remember, what was it? 84 was just an insane year for movies.
84 was the like ultimate year. I mean, you had Ghostbusters, I think Indiana Jones,
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Just a quick read through of 84. Red Dawn, 16 Candles, Dune, 2010.
The Ewok Adventure.
1984, Footloose, The Never-Ending Story, Last Starfighter, Breakin'.
Breakin', is it Breakin' or Breakin' 2?
Breakin'. Oh, Breakin' 2. It's Breakin' 2, you're right.
Electric Boogaloo.
Firestarter, Nightmare on Elm Street, Nausicaa.
Holy shit.
Romancing the Stone, Amadeus, Purple Rain, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, Repo Man, Karate Kid, Buckaroo Banzai, Top Secret, Splash, Police Academy, Streets of Fire, Chud, Night of the Comet, Children of the Corn, Gremlins, Toxic Avenger, Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Conan the Destroyer. Well, that's bad.
But Terminator.
Yes.
This is Spinal Tap. It goes on and on.
I was gonna say, for the younger people, every weekend you were either at the drive-in or in the theater. I remember that because my parents, I remember 84 because I remember seeing Last Starfighter, Dune. I know my parents went on dates and saw Children of the Corn and Nightmare on Elm Street because they both came home traumatized.
Yeah.
Like I remember that shit. Like I remember being at the drive-in so much in 84.
Yeah. I kind of miss drive-ins, even though they sucked.
I do miss drive-ins.
The screen quality wasn't very good.
But it was just kind of neat to be able to go do that.
My parents had a pickup truck and we'd just bring our old plastic lawn chairs and my dad would back in and we'd just bust out the lawn chairs and my mom would have been cooking all day and made homemade fried chicken and mashed potatoes. And we'd just sit there and eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes and watch the movies. It was fun.
My dad had a pickup too, but what we'd do is we'd go out to dinner first and then go to the drive-in, and he had a foam mattress in the back, so we'd all lay down in the back of the pickup and watch with that.
Do you remember whenever like everybody loved the film, by the end everyone would like start flashing their lights and honking?
Yes. Yes. I remember that for Last Starfighter. That's such a good movie. It's so underrated.
It is. But we all got to see it 100 billion times on cable.
Yes.
Constantly. Okay, so other comments to the we haven't achieved anything, okay? That one guy from the band says, we don't care. Someone called Pondering Mind says, you say that like your opinion matters to that. You say that like your opinion matters to us. Okay, back to my vibing. Okay, Kathy King.
We must have done something right because y'all can't stop bringing us into your boomer versus mini boomer drama.
Topher McLaughlin writes, the whole reason you can post this is because of And one more, we'll do it. You can read it. Matt Nelson.
Took words out of my mouth. Don't you need to polish your participation trophies or fix your man bun, Sammy?
Which is again why I go back to the point that, look, No, who would you prefer to hang out with? The two
I'd
dipshits in
hang
the
out with,
corner or Jackass?
dude, I would hang out with Jackass and I would like give them ideas. Go do something more destructive, please.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. BuzzFeed sucks so much that even the quality of bullying isn't nearly as good as what we had.
No.
No.
I rest my case. Okay. The next one, 11. And somebody's got a real boner for somebody on Facebook. Gen-X overshares on Facebook. And then the tweet that's supposed to illustrate this comes from Alexis Astrologer.
Like, this confirms
No, idiot voice.
Oh, idiot voice. Sorry. Okay. Excuse me.
This confirms my blooming theory that Facebook is the Gen X diary.
Like, what?
I don't know where they're getting this from because it was always my friends' parents that were, the boomers were oversharing their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did I say? I tried to have an intervention with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, another reply from Darksader75.
This is a total reach. Most of us left that crap behind years ago. We're old enough to know how it ends. Just as Tom of MySpace, unofficial social media spokesperson. Hey, Ralt.
Hey, am I late? I thought it was early.
No, actually we're an hour in, but that's okay. We're not quite done yet.
You said 10, in the email you said 10 p.m. Oh, Eastern Standard Time. Shit.
Oops. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
You guys catch up for a minute since he just popped in.
I forget Ralt's well, you're okay. That's not the right time zone. Okay.
No, it's not the right time zone.
We'll correct that next time.
It happens. What'd I miss? Anything good?
We're laughing at dumb people.
Oh, yeah.
We're laughing at millennials trying to start shit with Gen X via BuzzFeed.
What are they blathering about now on that ridiculous fucking thing?
Oh, you've missed some winners. Let's put it this way. I've been laughing so hard I've actually got a headache because it's just so friggin' ridiculous. Oh,
really?
God.
Oh, no.
No,
Yeah.
It's the headache that's worth it. And besides, after we're done, I can go drink a shot of whiskey and I'll be right as rain.
Hey.
I was all, hey, I'm gonna be 10 minutes early. No.
Nope.
No,
Nice
it's all
wish.
good.
Oh
We're
well.
chatting. It's fun. It's all good.
Uh,
Cool. Okay. Well, let's see what people are saying in the chat. They're saying hi, Ralts.
hey guys.
Let's see here. Seeing what people have been posting.
So what are they trying to start shit with BuzzFeed of all things? I mean.
Oh, this was a couple of years ago. They put up this list. It was like, let me go back to the title of this.
5 ways that millennials have it harder than Gen X.
15 toxic Gen X trends that should have ended. Like, Gen Xers are worse than boomers now.
Oh, we are? Cool.
I'm okay with that.
Like, okay, whatever.
Oh, unlike the boomers, I don't care.
Exactly.
What have we been saying the whole show? The three of us have been saying, we don't fucking care.
Was good, Neil Star, was good. But yeah, I mean, it blows me away. I see this shit all the time with, I love how you look at it and the press will have, by age category and it goes boomers, millennials, Gen Z, and it's like, where's Gen X in there? They're like, Gen who?
Actually, it wasn't until I was in business school that I started seeing the Gen X demographic again. And that's because companies actually are starting to realize that, hey, if you actually get somebody in the Gen X class to buy your shit, they are more likely to come back. You want that type of customer.
And we largely quit buying their stuff because
Are you
they
looking
went
at
from
Nine
marketing
Inch
Viagra.
It's a good album. Okay.
What were you saying, Ralt? Sorry.
Oh, I said they went from marketing Viagra to the boomers to marketing Funko Pops to shoving your ass to the millennials. They completely skipped us. They didn't market shit to us.
They
Oh,
also
wait.
don't know how to market things to us.
They tried doing, hey, remember how you liked My Little Pony? And Gen X is like, yeah, when I was 10.
I think the nostalgia was fun until people made it creepy.
Yeah.
Well, the nostalgia went from, hey, remember this cool show? We'll bring it back to, hey, remember this cool show? We're going to skin it, wear its skin, and dance around you like an Aztec priest at a wedding.
Hey,
Wearing your,
remember
Well,
how
wearing
we...
your
you missed
bride.
the most important part while slathering their own fecal matter all over that said skin.
Yeah,
And it's exactly the same thing, right?
Hey,
yeah,
hey
Yeah.
girls, remember when you were little and you really enjoyed Shira? Well, now she's got a penis.
yeah. I mean, you know, and I love this whole, it's not, I love how they do this. Well, it's obviously not meant for you, but when it fails, why didn't you support it? Well, it wasn't for me. But you
Well,
should have
wait.
supported it anyway. No. No, I won't.
Why was it nostalgia if it wasn't for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I mean, everybody, people have been, or the last one, what did Gen X make? Well, I don't know, but all of our pop culture stuff that was, made for us, you keep taking, ripping it apart, and then trying to glue it back together into this like chimera of. I'm trying. Let me see. The best thing I can show is, have you guys seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? The
It
Chimera dog.
skips a, yeah, but it skips a lot.
Yeah, they did the Chimera dog with our pop culture.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what got me is we weren't allowed to make stuff. When we got old enough to go to Hollywood and start writing and doing comics and stuff, they skipped us. They kept
Well,
around as old as fuck people as they could for fucking decades, and then brought in millennials, and they're like, well, what did Gen X make? Well, every time we try to make something, you fucking cancel it or refuse to fund it, so we made nothing.
actually, there is a small window. And that's because we were in the industry at the time when this happened,
Wasn't it
actually.
like mid 90s?
From the late 90s until about 2010 was that golden period in which we were actually, a lot of Gen Xers were making stuff. It's also when we had the most control over Cartoon Network.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, that's when I was doing Merc work, and that's before they gave it to the Tim and Eric show.
That explains a
Ugh.
lot about Cartoon Network because that's when they started doing the Toonami run, right? And brought in the
right.
good
Mhm.
anime.
That
Yeah.
was when Gen X was running most of Cartoon Network. I mean, keep in mind, Space Ghost was entirely a product of Gen Xers fucking around one day in the office and presenting it to the office, and the boss says, we can make money off this.
Well,
Mhm.
then they gave it to the Tim and Eric show, whatever the fuck that was. With
That
the
was the
fucking,
indication. That was the change. That
that
was the
was
moment
so shitty.
when
Ugh.
when they went in that direction, and that was kind of the shift. And in comics, it was the same thing. We were having this. I don't know if anyone remembers. The aughts were a great time for comics. I
I
mean,
was
it
out of them by that
really,
time.
really
Mm.
on the verge of being taken seriously.
That's when I was spending the most on comics. I would drop almost
Yeah,
$400 a month on comics because I
Yeah,
was
I
getting
exactly.
remember.
everything.
Mhm.
And we were in the industry, and we were doing our books, and things were going great. And we watched it happen. It was like over at one point, all the people up in Hollywood, all the old farts running things realized, you know, for every two Gen Xers, there are four millennials.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
I
Mhm.
remember when Time put out those articles in like 2003, 2004. Millennials, the new face of America,
Right.
and the way the article was written acted like Gen X didn't even exist. That
Well,
it
what
went boomers,
happened,
millennials.
and overnight you started seeing all the Gen X creators getting pushed out, and it started going all woke, and they wanted nothing but young kids out of college, like, what was it, Rebecca Sugar or whatever fuck her name is.
Ugh.
And
Pendleton Ward.
yeah, all of those people, it suddenly, and there was a legit purge, and that's one of the reasons we started 01,
Mhm.
was we saw the purge coming. People were getting shoved out because they were going towards this woke thing. They wanted nobody that was over a certain age, and that happened to comics. And it was actually mostly driven by Hollywood. Hollywood showed up because suddenly comics was money,
Yeah,
and then they shit all over it, and they ran
Well,
out the people that made it successful.
Didn't they do that to Brendan Small? Because I remember they did the Death Clock Death Opera for
Yeah.
Metalocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the show was gone.
Yeah.
And Brendan Small came out and said that Cartoon Network had screwed him and would not let the show finish. And they had all the rights, so he couldn't finish the show. And at the same time, Doc Hammer and Jackson Public seemed to lose complete interest in the Venture Brothers.
Oh, you know why,
Well,
don't you?
No, I don't know
They
about
got
that.
they got bent over a barrel and butt fucked till their eyes bugged out.
Oh,
and
probably. Well, I'm not
and
fucking surprised.
Adult Swim was always kind of, for whatever reason, Mike Laszlo was always hostile to the Venture Brothers.
Hmm.
And that thing lived strictly by the fact that fans loved it so much.
Oh, it was great.
When there was that
Yeah.
competing thing between Tom Goes to the Mayor and Venture Brothers,
Oh, fuck Tom Goes to the Mayor. That was the
They were-
lamest fucking shit.
they
It
were pushing
was.
that so hard, and nobody
Cartoons.
wanted it. And
No, it was boring.
I used
Wait.
to follow the forums, and it was literally fan outrage and saying, "Look, stop dumping this on us. We want more episodes of Venture Brothers."
Okay, so you're talking about when the live action stupid show came out and started showing up all the time on Adult Swim, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's when Steve and I started tuning out because we're like, we want to see the heavy metal band that's killing their fans on accident and the mocking of old Hanna-Barbera shows. Like
Uh,
that's yeah, we lived for those two shows.
Another indication of where things went wrong. Okay, Gen X production here. All right. The team that I forget what they were doing before it. There was a team doing a show for Cartoon Network, and they said, "Okay, yeah, but this is what we really want to do." And they showed them Archer, and they said, "Nah, we don't want it."
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Wow, FX, they snapped up a gemstone
Yeah.
then.
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon Network said, or Adult Swim said, "Nah, nobody's into this shit."
Well, you know, the boomers have hated us ever since we stopped the party.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Ever
true.
since we were born and stopped the party. And then, you know, I've got a really different outlook on it. I mean, I can tell you where the boomers really started to loathe us was about 1997.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
And you know why?
why?
There was a really weird thing I saw, and I saw it because I had a really weird outlook because of where I worked and my background and everything. If you remember, let's go back a little bit, and you look at Panama, right? Remember when we went into Panama, all the celebrities were screaming it was another Vietnam, and it was over in 30 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then we go to Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and Martin Short and those other stars were screaming it was going to be another Vietnam, and everybody, thousands of people, tens of thousands were come home in body bags, and Gen X was going to do worse than the Boomers did in Vietnam and everything, and it was over in 100 hours. And then they sent us to Bosnia, and you know all the fucking Eastern European nations to get involved in that shit, and they're like, oh, it's going to be another Vietnam. 4 years later, we pulled out, right? There was this undertone of resentment like you would not fucking believe. I mean, it was absolutely fucking terrible. And they acted like because the boomers managed to get their kids into 3 different fucking war zones, and every time their kids waffle stomped everybody in sight and went home, they hated us. They absolutely loathed us. It was you started to see Gen X start to get into politics about that time, and then they got completely shut the fuck out of politics. I mean, completely. You couldn't get a Gen X guy in for mayor without the
Yeah.
boomers screaming. And
well, look at the Democrat Party now. They're all still boomers.
They're all boomers.
they're all boomers or millennials with nothing in between.
Right.
And well, the Republicans have the same fucking problem. It's boomer heavy. And we've got the same guys in Congress that have been there since I was a kid. And it's like, what the fuck? And we've got the same problem in the Pentagon. You know, General Miley joined the military in 1980. You want to know something about General Miley?
Is that the bitch made general?
Yeah, he has no combat awards. All he has is his 6-month tab, meaning he went to a green zone for 6 months and hid behind everybody long enough to get his deployment ticket punched. That's it. He's never actually been in the real military.
Like I said, bitch made.
You know, he went officer's course, and you know, there's a certain career track you spot after you've been in the military for a while. It's a certain career track you spot with officers. And you see it over and over on all these bitch-made fucking generals who know less about the military than the fucking E4 mafia. And they go armor or infantry long enough to get their Ranger tab and their Special Forces tab, which these guys make it because the fix is in. I mean, there's been some weird rumors around that, but we won't get into that. And then they go into the Pentagon and they go into TRADOC, which is Training Command, and they never actually do anything. Miley is a jumped up tailor who helped develop a uniform. That's his. I think he's the one that helped develop a uniform. He's a jumped up tailor. You know, he's a little bitch. I have more awards than he does. There are fucking E4s walking around from the War on Terror who have 3 times the medals he does. And, you know, they locked us out of everything. And it's fucking hilarious because, you know, these guys have been in the military since 1979, 1980, 1983. They have no You're looking at people who have been in over 40 years and have no experience of being in the Army or the Air Force or the Marine Corps or the Navy. It's weird. It's like we hit Gen X, started to get to the age where we should have been taking over stuff. You know, we should have been going into middle management. We should have been able to go into lower management. We should have had good jobs like they did. We should have started, you know, getting into politics. And it was like they locked everything out about 1978.
Well, you know
1998.
why?
And they went, boom, no, you don't get anything.
You know why? Because they knew we were going to deconstruct all of their bullshit and probably make things better.
Well, it's more than that. They didn't want to release power. They didn't want to let it go. They wanted to be young and 30 forever.
Well, that's what I was saying, that we were going to deconstruct all their power base that they had made. I mean, just look at, we're talking about that, you know, there's ancient people in government right now. If you saw the State of the Union address between the 3 people that were on the podium, you know, Biden, Pelosi, and Harris, it's about 200 years combined. That's how fucking old they are.
I quit paying attention to politics because politics started to enrage me. Because
you know who's a Gen Xer?
Who?
Ron DeSantis.
Why am I not surprised?
And anybody that quotes how great that fucking former SEAL is.
Oh, Dan Crenshaw?
Yeah, anybody who fucking quotes how
guy.
great he is to me.
On him.
No, you know what? I knew he was bad from the get-go. You know why?
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 Because SEALs in his position existed entirely for 5 to 10 years off of a diet of CIA jizz.
Oh.
Of what?
Basically, they've had the CIA's dick in their mouth for, you know, quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I've got a bad opinion about some of them. And you know what? If they don't like it, they can come to the VFW and fucking talk it over with me in person.
Okay, so let's finish off the list before the
yeah.
we go too far. So
I have
okay,
two
have
more.
you given him the intro? What this is about?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Gen X stuff that needs to go away because it's toxic and wah.
Yeah. Okay, so the 12th complaint is being rude to customers.
Is it being rude to customers
Or being rude customer. I'm sorry, being rude customer.
It's not phrased very well.
Yeah.
Fuck you, give me my hamburger. I don't want to hear your life story.
And the tweet they choose to illustrate this is from someone named Reed, who writes, you know, on the whole, I hate the generational divide talk. You know, on the whole, I hate the generational divide talk. But I will say that working with customer service, I have noticed that Gen Z are way more polite than their Gen X parents.
It's like, fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah. And you're complaining because?
You know, like, I'm not going to be rude to somebody, but I'm not going to be like overly nice either. If I want a service, I'm going to get it.
Well, wait. What's rude exactly? Not respecting pronouns?
What's rude? Is it rude because I go in there and I don't want to fucking talk about I've had a shitty day. I don't want to talk about their day. Just ring my shit up so I can go home and be miserable. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, I'm sorry that I just did a 60-hour week and my car's got a knock in the fucking engine and my granddaughter's teething. I don't want to hear about how you went to Starbucks and then to a party last night. I don't care, and I wouldn't do it to you if I was working. I'd be like, your total is.
Okay, so 13 is feeling the need to always share their opinion.
The millennials are saying this.
Yes, yes.
Holy
Well,
fuck!
well, specifically, it's specifically these fuckers are saying it. Let's be fair. We're talking about this part of the millennials, not all of them. Anyone who
no,
thinks that this is a legit news source.
Can you
no.
go
There's a
back
lot of
to the
millennials
one
I
picture?
work with
Yeah,
and like.
I was gonna say that guy really looks like he needs a dick in his mouth. I mean, he's
Yeah,
got it open wide enough
I'm on
for
the
it.
back porch. I
just
mean, share our opinion. Yeah. Well, guess what? We get to. And
look
holy.
at this guy.
Oh, do I have to? I don't want to go inside. I'm having a cigarette.
Vulture nose there.
I don't care enough to look at him. Now, they want to share their opinion. So fucking what, okay? You can't say anything online or in the real world without a millennial popping out a dog's ass to lecture you.
Okay, so we haven't even gotten the
I just
tweet
got
yet.
a visual.
We haven't even gotten to the tweet yet that they used to illustrate this.
Oh, God.
This is from Allie.
Owl Susie.
No,
Oh, from Allie. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Allie Kitanach.
okay, idiot voice.
Okay.
It's all fun and games having Gen X friends until they go and have Gen X opinions.
It's like,
Oh,
what?
fuck you too, whore. There's my opinion.
I couldn't say it better.
Although I
Holy
think
Pee my pants. Oh God.
Gen X opinions. You know what? Every one of our opinions were earned watching us go to work at the factory and then watching either the fucking Green Initiative shut it down, like, you know, the entire West Coast, or ship the jobs overseas, the entire Midwest. You know, and we kind of got our opinions from fucking, you know, I'm over 50, so you know what? You can bite my Gen X ass. You can bite my old wrinkly Gen X ball sack because
I think
I earned my opinions.
part of this is I tracked down. You know, these weren't included within the Buzzfeed article with the tweets. I went and tracked down the actual replies to the tweets. So here's one from the Owl Susie. Now read this deadpan or in a Dario voice.
Part of me would love to know more. The rest of me just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went back to college in the early 2000s, it was full of fucking millennials. Surprise, you know, and I'm the old guy. You know, that's great. I got fucking gray in my hair already. I'm not even fucking 35. And, oh my God, I would sit there, you know, and you have to hang out with the group to do study group, and it was assigned by the teachers.
I'm sorry.
And they would spend like an hour blathering about nothing. And then they'd be like, oh, gee, we really ought to study. And every time I would look up and go, gee, you fucking think? And then I'd watch every quiz, every test. We'd lose more of the study group. And I'm like, I don't know how I didn't know the answers. Because when I open your book, it makes this crackling sound like I'm unrolling the Dead Sea Scrolls. Fuck.
Jesus.
Shut up, diarrhea.
Yeah. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I met a lot of them I liked. But for the, you know, actually, no. I met a lot of them I liked, but it was the minority of them. It was really weird. Because, you know, I was in a technical track. I was in an engineering track. And holy fuck, I literally heard something that made part of me die. If you remember back in 88, 89, there was a huge fucking deal over Barbie. When you pulled her string, she said math was hard. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, third semester of a fucking engineering course. And all it is addition, subtraction, sum, multiplication. You know, you've got a fucking calculator. But you could do this shit by hand if you wanted to. And this fucking millennial woman, she looks up and she looks at the other ones at the study group and she goes, God, math is so hard. And they all nodded along like fucking chimps. I went,
Jesus.
I gotta go.
That's
It was
surreal.
like-
that is
right.
a surreal story.
And that hurt me. That fucking physically hurt me. Because the way they just all nodded with these blank stares, I'm like, fuck this. Maybe I was thinking, you know, I could take that job and go get shot at again.
Oh, jeez.
Which is eventually what happened. I was
Well,
like 2 months out from my associate's degree and went, fuck this. I can make more money getting shot at.
Oh God.
and happier.
Yeah, I was actually happier.
So, Trenton, by the way, just to let you know, I am wearing your Christmas gift right now, the Atomic Airlines T-shirt, and we still got a gift waiting for you, man. You got to come over
Yeah.
here. Okay. So anyway,
Okay.
last one,
Oh,
last one
Jesus.
here.
They always save the ringer
14,
for last.
14, and the TBH hating everyone. What's
What's
To be
TBH?
honest.
to be
Oh,
and the to be honest, hating everyone is the last toxic flaw of Gen X.
Well, yeah,
And
we hate everybody. You haven't given us one fucking reason to like you, and we're not required to like you. Your mama has to like you. I'm not your fucking mom. If I was your mom, I would have knocked your head in and sold the milk.
wow.
that's better than the actual tweet that's being used as the example, which
Yeah.
is by Hard Workin' Daddy. And the tweet says, Gen X, we are into equality. We hate everyone equally.
We do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That was a unique feature of Gen X. We hated everybody. Your skin color, your race, your creed, none of it mattered. We just didn't like you unless you were our friend.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
mean,
really,
And
that is true.
that required, it had to be earned.
well, I had my kids early because there was no way I was going to be fucking 60 years old crutching after a 5-year-old in the fucking park who's throwing their clothes behind him heading for the duck pond. No, I'm not doing that. And and I noticed something when my kids were in school. About 95, 96, they started teaching everybody has to like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
have
then
to
the weird
like
bullying
everyone.
rules
Oh God.
where like everything was bullying.
Everything was bullying, but when you took it to the staff because your kid's actually getting bullied, then it's not bullying. It's
Yeah.
just kids being kids if the other kid isn't poor white trash.
Wait, you
I,
guys want
I
me to
was
tell you about the bullying stuff? Because I worked for the schools. You want to know why they did the bullying shit? And then when you came in and said my kid's getting bullied, and they're like, no, they're not getting bullied. It's because the state and the federal government would give you extra money if kids didn't get in trouble. So they stopped writing referrals, and that's why the bullying has kept going because the public schools want their fucking cash from the government. I shit you not.
Oh no,
There was
yeah.
a
I know that.
special
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
needs there was a special needs girl that got surrounded and beaten up by a bunch of students to the point that her bruises were black. And her mother came in, and this girl was mentally retarded.
Mm.
And the school did nothing. The
No,
girl got the girl that led the beating got a in-day suspension for 1 day. It's because they will not write referrals. They will not
no,
suspend. There was another school I was at where a kid brought a BB gun to school that looked like a Glock and was bullying another kid and made the kid sit down on his knees. And he went behind him and started popping him in the back of the head, executioner style. The kid got expelled, but that looked bad for the school. And the mom complained that it was, well, we'll just say the mom complained. I'm not going to get the channel shut down. And the kid got to come back. And because he knew he couldn't get in trouble, he figured out how the system worked. He just escalated.
yeah.
He brought these
Jeez.
guns to school. Now, when I say guns, I'm talking BB guns, not real
Yeah.
guns. But he just did whatever the fuck he wanted. And that's why bullying has escalated. It's because your children are no longer students. Your children are dollar signs.
Yes, I still
Mm-hmm.
remember that fucking teacher that said, "I don't want the kids out at recess. That doesn't get the school money. I want their asses in the
Yeah.
seats."
Yep. And that's why recess got cut too. I mean, the kids literally only have less than a half an hour to shove the food down their throat at lunch
Yep.
and then get time to play.
Yeah, and I remember when I was a kid, up until like junior high, you had like a half hour recess, and then you had an hour lunch, and then you had another
Yeah.
half hour recess. You could run all that goddamn energy off.
Yeah.
But I was in the California school system at one point, and because I was hyperactive, I did, climbing on everything and fucking acting out and shit. They started giving me juice one morning, and it was this cherry juice, and it tasted weird, and it made me all loggy. And my dad, who happened to sober up long enough to notice this fucking sudden attitude change, and my older brother was doing the same thing. And my dad was like, "Is there anything new that's been going on?" And my brother's like, "Well, they give us juice in the mornings."
That's creepy.
And my dad went in and grabbed the juice when they gave it to us and fucking poured it in a plastic bag and took it to the fucking fire department. And then took it to the cops, and it turned out they were fucking giving us lithium.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ! Without, oh my God, that
That's
could have killed a
dangerous.
kid.
No parental notification at all, and they're giving us fucking lithium to
Oh
calm
my
us down.
God.
They were slowly
Wow.
staging it up in the juice until we were good compliant students. And my
Okay,
dad was
after
like,
the sh-
"Why was
I was
this
just gonna say, after
boy
the show, you got to tell me what school district you went to because you said it was a California school.
Merced?"
Okay. Okay.
That was Merced. That was the
Why am I
Merced
not
school district.
surprised? Why am I not surprised? Central California.
And holy shit, my dad was trying to figure out why is this boy who doesn't take the bus home and instead just runs 3 miles like a little lunatic suddenly half asleep when he gets off the bus and can't make it through dinner. Because, well, he noticed me and my brother couldn't do our chores. We were too loggy. Because they'd give it to us
Wow.
at breakfast, and they'd give it to us at the beginning of the day and at lunch, and then for the bus ride home.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Because I was a little asshole. I was one of those little hyperactive assholes. You know, I didn't bully people. I just acted like a complete lunatic.
You know
But
what? When I was working at the schools, I liked the little hyperactive assholes. Those are the kids I wanted to work with. Like, for real. I'd be like, you want to get into shenanigans? Yeah, let's get into shenanigans.
but yeah, if they were pulling that shit back then, what are they doing now? What the fuck are they up to now? You know, I moved to the Midwest for a reason. My granddaughter, she's in elementary school. She still gets 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon, and an hour lunch to go out there and just run around and be a little brat. You know, and the TA's out on the play field just stand there and smoke cigarettes. That's how far back in the woods I live.
That's actually pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I miss school being like that.
You know, she comes home with with band-aids on her knees, on her palms, because she was running and tripped, and she's all like, "Me and my friend were racing, and I tripped, but I still took first place." My daughter's always like, "There goes another set of tights. Fuck, those things are getting expensive."
Well, okay, one more, and then we should figure out if we're going to go or not, because I see Cat crashing here for dinner.
Well, you can stay.
No, I need dinner too. But
Okay.
um,
I'm sorry I was late. I saw
no,
that
it's okay.
I read it wrong. I was actually looking forward to this.
Well, there's always next week.
Well, we're going to bring
Yay.
John. We're going to try and get John next week.
Oh, we
but
are.
We
Okay.
Okay.
will. You know, you're kind of becoming a regular, so you'll get lots of invites.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I did want to share the link to the next article during this phase of time in which Buzzfeed tried to start a feud between Gen X and the Buzzfeed generation.
Well, see,
Because I don't think
the BuzzFeed generation wants to fight. Gen X just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to call all millennials, because again, that really is the Tumblrite BuzzFeed kids that we're really dealing with, that need to be strangled to death.
You know, the internet was a mistake.
No, making it easy to access was a mistake.
And I say that as someone who earns his living on the internet.
The link to the next article was called "Gen Z is calling Gen X the Karen generation."
Oh, you mean I actually want what I ordered? I actually want what the fucking advertisement was, and I actually want you to do what I'm fucking paying you to do, and I want you to act like a fucking decent person? You know when I realized I was too old? When I saw this fucking dude wearing this shirt. It was like a Hawaiian shirt instead of a Hawaiian pattern. It had a bunch of hentai porn on it, and he's walking around in public. And I'm not allowed to beat this dude. I'm not allowed to beat him within an inch of his life when all these little kids who were like 8 and 9 are staring at his shirt. And you could tell by his big grin he thought he was fucking cool. I really wanted to
Jesus.
beat his ass right there in front of everybody.
Ew.
I realized I was getting too old right there.
Not ew that you wanted to beat his ass, but ew, like wearing a hentai shirt. Ugh.
Yeah. But he wore it around school kids. And you could tell by his grin he thought he was fucking cool.
I think you should have beaten his ass. It would have done him some good.
Nah, I'd already been in trouble before.
Ah,
Yeah, it's not like the old days. It's not like the old days when the cops went, well, yeah, he had his ass kicking coming. You know, the judge don't say that no more. The judge is like, people have the right to not be exposed to violence. Oh, is that why you sent me to blow up brown people?
Oh shit.
Wow.
Man.
I actually said that. My lawyer went, fuck.
It's that kind of honesty I miss.
Yes.
Well, the judge just fucking dropped the charges. Well, what got me is the guy was able to press charges on me to begin with. I, I, the fucking dog was going off. Went outside to see what's going on, and this dude's looking in my daughter's windows.
Holy
Oh.
crap.
Oh my God. Oh.
And
Yeah,
so
that's-
He's lucky he's still breathing.
yeah, I didn't shoot him, but he fucking left and he reported it to the cops that I beat on him. This guy had the balls to go to the cops and, I was trying to peek into his 3-year-old daughter's window and he beat on me, so I want him arrested. It's like, what the fuck? And the cops took it seriously is what got me. I was like, I need to move. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I take it this was in California?
No, it was actually in Washington State.
Oh, just as worse.
Well, it didn't used to be.
No, I know. I have family that lives in Washington, and
But
I can
that-
remember when Washington wasn't crap.
That judge, people have the right not to be exposed to violence. Really? Because I don't see that anywhere. I've never seen that right anywhere.
No.
And it sure as shit didn't count in my life.
Well, again, this is a hell of a lot of fun. I kind of wish we will need to get you in earlier next time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Do me
I
a favor.
apologize. Yeah.
Make sure I get the right time.
Okay.
We'll send you a message
Yeah.
about 10 minutes before or something like that. So.
Because I
But,
keep my email open.
Oh, okay, cool.
But there were a lot of great comments in the chat, so I will apologize that we did not get to them. It just was not that kind of show today.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to try and get John on next week,
Yeah.
Mr. Araz, because there's all sorts of fun stuff to ask him about. And plus,
Yes.
apparently Liam's on his ass again, so I
Who's
think that
Liam?
needs to be addressed.
Oh,
Who's Liam?
You don't know who Liam Gray is?
No, never heard of him.
He's one of those uber cuck soy boys who whines about everything and then does behind the back dirty shit like trying to doing false reports and complaints on people.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. See, that's why I don't have social media.
Well, it was John Delaraz's Indiegogo campaign that he filed a false report on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I never understood that. I mean, if you've got that big of a beef with a person, why not be a man and just face them?
you haven't seen Liam.
I mean,
Liam's not a man.
I literally would not go behind somebody's back and try to, cancel them and everything. I would directly call them on the phone and tell them fight me in real life.
He'd probably piss and shit himself if you confronted him. I mean, he's a little bitch.
I mean, I don't know. One thing the internet has done is made it so that people who feel powerless in their lives can really bully other people.
Yeah.
With no sense of danger. They can do this. And they don't have to worry about, getting anything back. They don't have to worry about getting any backsplash. And
Well,
I don't understand it.
The nice thing is John has been very successful at suing people. And I hope he sues the ever-living shit out of Liam.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so too.
I hope he sues that fucker into the poorhouse. I want him to, I hope they fucking take a screwdriver and pull out his fillings in payment for what he's putting John through. So
I mean, why was he reporting his Indiegogo? I mean, because doesn't like
Liam
him.
is an SJW and doesn't like the fact that John is a proud Christian conservative.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Yeah, God forbid somebody, see, I'm not a religious man, but I don't shit on anybody else's religion, because if I had a religious belief, I wouldn't want people to shit on mine.
Yeah, exactly. And he likes basically Liam's game is to kick the hornet's nest and then play the victim and say, "Look at I'm being bullied by these horrible Trumpers."
Look at all these wasps stinging me for no apparent reason.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
The thing is, I've noticed is the people who do that have been the exact same since grade school.
Yeah.
It's like they never grew up. Or they
For
got
sure.
bullied in school and figured out how to work the system. And see, I never bullied people. I could have. I wasn't big. I was just really strong and really active. And I didn't bully people because it just didn't really do. I don't know. And so, once the bullying started online about 2012, 2013, when it started getting really bad, I kind of disconnected from everything. I mean, I stopped going to forums because, there was a couple writing forums where they just started bullying people.
Really?
And it was all these new people that just came in. It would be like one or two people would come in and they disagree with something somebody wrote, and then all these new accounts would just start jumping on everybody everywhere. And the site owners would be like, well, everybody's got a right to their opinion. It's like, well, these new people are preventing anybody from having an opinion. Well, that's not my concern. And it blew me away. So I disconnected from, forums, from Twitter, from Facebook. I mean, because just the bullying was out of control. And it gets
Well,
me
okay,
this.
okay. You're asking about who Liam is. Now, I should post this video back up. Everyone asks me to put him back up. So I'm going to share this, and then we're going to call it a night because
Okay.
we need dinner. But I did a video a while back thinking that Liam didn't know he was being a complete douche. And it was just giving advice saying, look, playing the emotional blackmail game to have people give money to your campaign is bullshit. Don't do it.
Yeah.
This is Liam. Now, can you understand why he probably has a self-esteem problem? Because I sure can.
I'll go inside and I'll actually put out my cigarette and go take a look. I'm chain smoking tonight because I always do when we stream. Let's see what I'm going to look at. Is it the human embodiment of soy? Better not ruin my night.
Well, he does kind of have a face like Fat Droopy.
What the fuck, over? Oh my god. Why is this guy filming from his kid's playroom?
No, that's his bedroom.
Why?
Oh God, I'm embarrassed now because that's what my dining room looks like. I have all my role-playing books and manga and
What?
action
There's nothing wrong
figures.
with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I do have a life. That is true.
They need to check that guy's backyard. There's a missing hooker in his backyard.
You're not the first person to have said that. You are not the first person to have said that.
The thing
It's the eyes that give it away.
Actually, you know what? I think it was Ethan who first said that.
I think it was
shit.
actually. No, I was gonna say, it's amazing how there is a type, and like Blake fit that type too.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Blake?
Oh yeah.
Blake was a guy that he was funding Archaea Comics to put out his books because he was a rich boy. We took a job illustrating one of his stories.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of eerie that you bring Blake up because it suddenly just hit me. This is what Blake looked like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Blake looked like this dude, but with a big black fro.
Blake kidnapped, tortured for 3 days, and murdered his girlfriend.
He even had that big wide-eyed crazy look.
Well, that was a man with a plan.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good plan, but it was a plan.
But yeah, I'll tell the Blake story maybe next week or something. But it's a bit involved.
Yeah. But,
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry I was
the show.
late, guys.
Support the show by either buying Titanium Rain on audio for less than $7 or a t-shirt, because you need a Roswell Barbecue authentic Zeta Reticulum grill t-shirt.
And Ralt, where can people find your books?
Amazon.
Excellent.
Amazon under Behold Humanity in the space opera section. And I just
Excellent.
released book 5 on Friday, so
Oh, hey.
get it while it's hot.
Awesome. Yes, get it while it's hot.
All right, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good
night.
night.